Hello, everyone. Never trust a narcissist. I mean, this is a new word. In times of old, people were called antisocial, sociopath, psychopath, uh, loony, as in nuts. Uh, Something's not right. Insidious. There were so many different terms throughout history describing people who had issues depending upon the depth and the brevity of the issues that a narcissist have been termed as a person with a disorder, right? And some people have said, well, they're wired that way. Other people have said, well, they're born that way. So the other word they came up with was trauma bond or trauma. There was a certain amount of trauma that happened to them that caused them to go topsy turvy, right? Something went wrong, right? There's so many different explanations, and depending upon the depth and the lightheartedness of the explanation, they are given they are given a high level of allowance. It's like a child that if you were to put a few children in a family unit, the child that seems to be the loudest seems to get the more allowance. Sometimes parents do it to shut the kid up because it's a kid, right? It's a kid, right? Or some parents, of course, will be strict. No, 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 this is your allowance. The thing is that where I'm going with this twofold is that people have, and I'll go along the lines of a disability. Okay. I'm going to be careful when I use the term retardation because I'm not talking about people that they term retarded, people who have certain physical immobilities that they kind of, or their brain has certain disablement that they can't operate correctly or they slur in their speech. Now, I'm not talking about that. I'm not using the retardation. I'm not using it in that level. That is that a lot of that is a malady that's sad, right? But some of those people you meet, by the way, are some of the most sweetest and amazing people you'll ever meet. So I'm not using a word. I mean, you take retard and put it for a narcissist. To retard something means to pull it back, to stop it, to enable it, to disable it, to dismember it from becoming a whole person, being able to operate on a good manner. Now, for the life of me, I can't figure out, it doesn't matter when, where, why, or how, that whatever happened to conscience, right? So as I was just talking earlier about the disablement, disability, and so on and so forth, I think it'd be much more nicer, but much more easier to deal with a narcissist when you realize that person is disabled in the place of conscience. And how you be able to deal with them or see it from a realistic, it's very real, that they're capable of a lot of damage because of having a lack of conscience. We live very much in societies and civilization that gives a certain amount of allowance and a tolerance, because we say, well, anybody can be rehabilitated. That's why you have prisons, right? People can be rehabilitated. People can be they can get therapy, right? That's another thing they came up with. They can be talked to. They can get into them, right? Or they may just need some drugs. That's what it is. That's what it is, right? Yeah. The problem is with the brain. It's the chemicals within the brain, right? That's why they're narcissists. Yeah. So there's all these different levels of giving these people special treatment. Now, the thing is about these people in general is that that is just it. They're all about special treatment. They're, as I just went on earlier with all the different angles to a narcissist. When you come down to the fact that anybody, I don't care who they are, thinks they deserve special treatment, and other people ought to bow down to them, or people need to take a back seat while they get to have the good. People ought to give up, sacrifice, move over, tolerate, put up with, whilst these comedians come along and disturb the peace. That is, they have this attitude that no matter what I do in life, I'm allowed. I can do whatever I want. And some people have even labeled them to be selfish, arrogant, entitled, little people. People haven't grown up. Now, here's another thing about seeing them on that level. It's seeing that they are somewhat retarded in their growth as a human being. You sort of give them a certain amount of allowance. But even yet, children, even from young, have to have a certain level of discipline. So if that is the case with a narcissist, then discipline is needed. If you're especially dealing with a child in a human body, they need to be treated with a certain amount of discipline. Not you, them. And a lot of times they come along, you'll find out in your interaction with them, that's exactly what they'll do to you, not them, because it's not for them. The standards are double. The discipline is for you. You need to get in shape here. You need to get with the program. I am special. You're not. I can do this. I can do that. You can't. When I can put you out in your sleep, when your money and whatever, and cause you to have issues, well, that's your problem. But if you do it to me, we're going to have a problem. So they are all about disciplining you. You see how this thing goes flip flop, right? Now, in a realm of trust, if we didn't have a whole lot of trust in civilization, we wouldn't be able to go into banks. We wouldn't be able to walk into a workplace. There would be so much in place to protect those who are in charge from getting ripped off, from getting given bad performances. I can go all and all. I mean, even in renting in a building, right? So trust is a big factor when it comes to the dealings in life. That people give out a lot in the name of trust, especially when signing an agreement financially or whatever. It's really important, right? Now, there's consequences that are also built into trust, right? And there's laws that are in place. Now, when you're dealing with a narcissist, those kind of laws don't seem to apply on a deep level unless they really do you some harm. Then the law comes into place. But I'm talking about your dealings with them. There's no real social laws, consequential laws of consequence regarding social activity, right? Some light of that, they can basically do what they please. And when I said never trust a narcissist, is that you cannot in any way, shape, or form, once you know who they are, give them the level of transaction that they are not hoping for, looking for, but they're demanding. Okay? Now, when you are in the game, the ring with them, in whatever level, you are with them, there has to come a realistic uh, decision that you are dealing with somebody that is extremely dangerous. Even though they can't be right now, they will eventually. Something I discovered with these people, it'll blow your mind to the lows that they will go down to get what they want. And when you think you have them figured out, they will do something else to bend your reality that you just have to shake your head. Did that really happen? And because in the land of social etiquette and social niceness and so on and so forth, no one really, it's not built in even into the media, really, or enough awareness is made that the level of ugliness that a narcissist will stoop to is never ever really given a lot of attention. I know, sure enough, the Hollywood has built a lot of different movies around the topic. But you know that the interesting thing, what makes any movie you go to, it's a form of entertainment. So you walk out of the theater not really thinking about the script that was shown to you because it was never meant to be taken seriously. It was only a thriller. It was only a horror movie. It was only a drama movie. So, it was just a movie, right? And such is the same thing. It's built into our programming. Well, it's just them. Now, when it gets serious for you, I mean, as I'm talking about this, I say never trust a narcissist. They can never, ever be trusted on any level. I'm not talking about even this relationship, the things that it will do in the area of immorality, if it's a relationship you're in, or it is steal from you. Some of them won't, right? But it's a slow damage that they will do to you because they are consistently going to see you as a servant. They're going to consistently see how you can best serve them because you are going to always be a benefit. You're not a friend. You're not a brother, sister, wife, husband, uh, employee, whatever. You're a benefit. And that's all you are. You are an object of desire until they're done with you. And when they're done with you, which was the greatest horrible shocker, is that they've done enough harm to your physiology that you will become owned by them. That's where people call it the trauma bond. Some people have said, why is it I'm having such a hard time breaking away from the narcissist, even though I just said, get out of my life. It's because they built an invisible bond with you, right? That bond that you can't see. And a lot of time they build a fake image of themselves so strongly that you begin to doubt. You will doubt the harsh reality of who they truly are. So I'm going to end my video today, keeping it short, so you don't lose your interest. Do like and subscribe. You cannot put your money into a bank that's going to fail tomorrow. The same way you can't put your money or your life, everything that you work for, into somebody who is going to be gone tomorrow, because that's all you are to them. They could be here with you today, and you see how quickly they will switch up what you think is allegiance or faithfulness. They don't see that. They don't see that. But they'll make sure that they've trained you enough to be faithful and allegiance to them. Have a good day. Do not ever, ever trust a narcissist.